What's up, everybody? So I was inspired by some recent chat in the Discord to kind of go over like the top 10 niche plays or like things that you do that really gains you an advantage. So maybe think back of this game because a lot of stuff came up here, even though like if you watch the game just on the surface, it looks pretty black and white. So I want to kind of explain some of my thought processes and see what y'all thought and if I was right or wrong here because this is a game I don't know if I did everything right here. So enjoy. So I'm not going to show his hand, I guess. I'll just show from my perspective. And then I guess we can go back over if need be. This is for, it's like a giant Pikachu or some shit, Rainbow Rare. It's pretty cool. Versus Banbuyten, Alejandro. I don't remember his last name, but he's really good. Came out of retirement, I guess, for a bit. But it was a fun match. So let's see. Did I win the roll? I did win the roll. Life slit. Zen actually isn't that great. Just because I have no first turn play at all. And if it's Warrior, I'm in a really bad spot. So, Snatch doesn't do anything. Thunder Dragon right away is fine. But like, if I get Dust Shooted, I'm going to lose like everything here. No Dark. So it's looking rough if it's Warrior. If it's a slower deck, I do have time. I have Breaker, which I think is the best card. One of the best cards in the game. So Thunder for Thunder. We'll just go a bit quicker. I know I'm working on it, y'all. Let's see. Sets. I love Set and Sinister. Here I think I just have to. I don't have a choice. But like, it baits out so much shit. Level 2, Blade Knight, like, I don't think he's gonna meta here, but it's good. It's really strong to set Sinister like that, I think. I don't actually know game one what he's on, what deck he's playing. I know a lot of people play Warrior, so I kinda edge for that, just because Warrior playing against Warrior when you don't know isn't really gonna hurt you against the other decks too much, but playing against like Go Control and Warrior, you're gonna get smacked by level 2 because you set like your Saku or something, if that makes sense. So, back to him. I don't really have any forward progression here, but I hope I can toss off the Sinister and hopefully the Breaker or the Snatch can walk. So, Thunder Dragon. So that's cool.
I didn't look in there.
Okay. I was like, that's your gift, you can't look at it.
Is that my Valentine's Day present?
What's up?
Is that my Valentine's Day present?
That's one of them, yeah. What the fuck was I saying? You fucked me up, cat. I said you fucked me up. Anyway, it's not Warrior. I can see the Thunder Dragon, so that's probably a good thing here. And Pot Greed, so this is already looking rough, but I do have power cards. Like 3, I think I consider all these 3 power cards. This one's like a pseudo power card. Usually it's like win more if you do a good faith. He probably already did like a good pot, so like Weiss probably already lit, but he sets the set. This is ideal here. Wing Blast is a great draw, so like I can put him on. I know 2 cards in his hand, right? And no 2 Thunder Dragons. It's face down. I have to respect faith, of course, because of pot. I know a lot of people will set a bluff first, but as you don't have a choice, you need to respect it. But I think a lot of the key to beating Chaos, at least in the mirror, is to take advantage of the fact that Thunder Dragon is just starting with one less card until it's not. So just don't give them the opportunity to make it not. So I think this game kind of shows like what that theory, why I did what I did when it just looks like I just kind of randomly just went all in. But I'll explain exactly why. And again, you guys can comment or just let me know if I did it well or I'm just an idiot. It's all good. So I drew Wind Blast, Breaker here because I can force the Torrential. I don't think he sets Torrential with fucking a set unless it's Torrential Sengen, and then I still break even. I don't like to use Breaker like this. Really, I like to save Breaker. I think he's a lot of times Breaker like on a Snatch or something is just, or Breaker when they have like a BLS, like a Solemn or something is the way you want to use it. But here I'm kind of, what the fuck else am I gonna do? I'm not sacking for Thunder Dragon. I hate doing that because I hate getting the blank blanking cards, Thunder Dragon blanking duo and shit like that out of my hand. But I have Sinister, so whatever. Still, I think Breaker's right here. So Breaker's gonna break Solemn Judgment. So this is, and I'm gonna go in through this more in my review, or like my duel tips, I guess. I can kind of read more of his hand based on this. So like, would you really set Solemn over Book here? I don't think so. Like setting alone Solemn to me is just kind of odd. Like going forward, there's definitely like logic in doing so, but I'm just used to like the set everything. So like I think if it was me and I had something, I'd probably set the Book first to bait shit like Breaker, because Solemn's a premium card, as is Breaker. But if I can use Book on a Breaker, that's like a medium level card, or like low level even for a premium card. So yeah, and I don't think I hit it here, if I remember right. Yeah, because like if I hit it and it's fucking Pot of Greed, I'm in a rough spot. I have the Wind Blast, and I know two of his cards are going to be Thunder Dragons, right? So he plays Solemn, assuming if they play Solemn, they play a lot of back row. So a lot of times you can really make hard reads on what they have, because they would just fucking set everything else. So only 3 cards in hand. He'll have 4 cards to my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. So I'm in a really good spot here. Even after potted, it was working out really nice. I went first. So here I think I just pass, hold the Sinister, which once you have a face down like this, I don't think a lot of people read Sinister anymore. They used to, but like Tomatoes become like the big fucker you won't flip. Or for me, it's like Mimic level 3. So I do Wind Blast it here. So again, Thunder Dragon, Thunder Dragon. I don't know why I'm pointing on the screen, but Thunder Dragon, Thunder Dragon. And then I think every other back row, shit, I didn't mean to show there, but every other back row, I probably would set. Like if I had Regeki Break, I'd set its ass. If I had Dust Shoot, I'd set it. If I had Bookamoot, I'd set it. Probably even Mirror Force. I guess maybe Mirror Force I'm not so confident on, because I played Thunder Dragon. He can assume I'm probably not playing Warriors, so I'm gonna worry about level 2, and I've already set a monster, so he doesn't have to worry about Blade Knight. So Mirror Force isn't completely eliminated, but just the fair guess is motherfucker has a lot of monsters in hand. So why would he set the Solemn? So Thunder Dragon, 30 cards. You can assume a Chaos Monster opening hand. And again, it lines up well with the theory of he doesn't have, he has a lot of monsters. So this is just going to put him back. And then what he does here is going to really tell me a lot more about his hand. So I put back the Faith. Was that Faith? Regardless, I'm just having to make that argument that it's Faith. It doesn't matter if it is or not. It's just what I have to do. So if he's bluffing me by holding a Faith, and another flip, like he said I could deco instead of the Faith and puts the Faith second, which is usually what I do. I do have a counterplay for that. If he doesn't set a back row, I just need to push. So what I'm going to do is if he sets back to me, because he has that one draw, I don't think I really commit that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in hand initial, 2 Thunder Dragons, so 2 cards in hand. Those are probably both monsters. I'm guessing 1 Chaos. He drew 1 card for turn. I can't really count for that. And then he's going to draw the Faith next turn. So there's 1 card that I can't really account for, but I built this at this turn. If he just sets back to me, I can assume either Faith or Deco. You could do it the other way. So let's see what happens. And I really need to learn to fucking shuffle my hand after my draws. In real life, I shuffle like a fucking crackhead. That's like such a relaxing thing to do when thinking. But on doing Book, it's hard to, oh yeah, shuffle. And I forget to do it, and then I draw a good card. I'm like, oh, I should shuffle. It doesn't really work either. If I'm only doing it when I draw a good card, it's a pretty good tell. So he does set a back row. See here again, like, the card he draws has to be that card for that to be something of value. And again, this may or may not be true. I've been wrong a lot too. But I really do commit to these hard reads. If it just fits into the story. So we'll see. So I think that's the card he drew. I'll just quick over it, but 2 Thunder Dragons, Chaos Monster in hand. So because he's set back to my set, obviously there's no aggressive play. There's nothing in the graveyard here. I could see him setting Deco first to get rid of it, or maybe setting Faith because he has the light, or wants to get the knock on the Faith even to guarantee the dark, because the Chaos Monsters have more value than any other card. So really, I do tribe here, which is nice because I do now have 2 outs to my soldier. Because if I drop soldier before, and he does have snatch, and snatch follows the same line of chaos monsters. Like when you're playing against warrior, this is gonna be one of my tips, so I'll give it away free now. But playing against warrior, you can really read their hand because they will set their entire hand to play around duo. It's really one of the main key points of warriors. It sets his entire hand, breaks your dash shoot, breaks your duo, the deck breaks your knocks. That's the deck's thing. But I'm getting off topic here. So here I have all the outs to really push here. I know he's drawing a flip monster. I think his card's in hand, or at least Thunder Dragon, Chaos Monster. So the only thing I'm really sad about is like Torrential, and it could be Torrential, but I just feel like the odds of him just ripping Torrential for turn is 1 out of like 32, and I think he probably just, I wouldn't even set the Torrential or a Psalm, just doesn't make sense either. So I just don't find a good spot for Torrential in this deck list. I don't think he plays it, personally. So anyway, my play would be sack for Thunder Dragon, White Dark Soldier, and then I brick this to get that out of the way. I swing for damage, and then also he draws another brick, so he only has 2 cards to play with, and a potential back row. So that's the play here. Sack for Thunder Dragon, White Dark, Brown Soldier, respect the Mirror Force, banish the... I'll never know. I got to check, but yeah. So again, I'm pretty sure I was spot on with the 2 cards in hand being like a Chaos Monster, just any other monster, Deco Faith. The deck runs a lot of monsters, so you really need to punish that to take advantage of the mirrors. So that was a really fast game. Again, it looks like it's really out there, but there's really a lot of logic behind it. I think it took me a while to really figure out exactly how much I'm willing to commit to these plays, and that's why I like Windblast, because it really sets you up to win these games so quickly when you can put your opponent on something that fits into the story. So he goes, draws your duos, and that's real rough. The first turn duo fucking sucks, especially if you don't have like a white end arc. And ideally here, I probably want to dump. I don't remember what I dumped here, but looking back, I think in these spots, Duo doesn't have as much value going second, because if he plays Thunder Dragon, I'm down 2 cards, and then another card in my hand just isn't going to do anything. So I think I'd realistically have to drop the Duo. The card I don't want him to hit, of course, is fucking Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm's probably one of the best. I don't know, there's so many good cards in Go, but I always want to have Heavy. Because I'm going to need to steal this game, I feel like, already. My hand isn't strong. His hand has Duo, and he has 5 cards going first. He needs some position. It's a game I'm probably going to need to steal and just win outside of, like, advantage, and Heavy is the key to doing that. Heavy and Snatch, those are the game-stealing cards. So, he hits my Heavy. I'm big sad about it. I discard Suki, and looking back, I think I should have got rid of Duo. Yeah. The thing is, like, Snatch Suki's cool, but I don't expect him to run me down with a big-ass monster. He's just going to use flips. And Suki doesn't really do much. Yeah, I could Snatch Suki, the Deco, but like that's never a good use of Snatch. And then my way to come back in this game is used to draw a card. That's just not going to work. But I think Duo was probably right, just because if he has the Thunder Dragon, I'm dead. And if he has the Thunder Dragon, he's going to be down on cards, because Thunder Dragon is, a -1 until it's not, in like pseudo card advantage. So that would be a good thing for me. I kind of want him to have Thunder, and if he has a Graceful and shit, well, this game's already lost. So Duo seems like maybe the play. I'm gonna have to think about that. I just thought of that right now, so let me know what you guys think about that as well. So worst case scenario happens, he does set. After taking my Heavy, big sad about it. Hope he doesn't dash. I don't care if he dash shoots. I draw Mobius. I think this is not a good. I think both games this is the game I posted where Mobius sucked dick, but I really do like this fucker. I have to Duo. A lot of times you'll see me Duo like 1 card before I make a play, and that's just to brick Regeki Break or Phoenix Windblast. Like, you feel really safe with such a versatile card. They Duo, and now you have nothing. There's no risk here. I just have to play the Duo, but that's something to think about too. That's going to be one of my tips, is using the Duo to set up to brick the Regeki Breaks. So I got his Snatch and his Deco. So what does that mean that monster is? I have no idea. It's not Faith. What would you set over Deco here? Right, because Deco is the strong, like I think is a great turn one like this, especially if you hit me with duo, you put me down on cards. That 14 is going to get in that ass. So what are you setting over it? I summoned the Nidori here, and like, again, I don't think this was right. I think I should have, because what fits the story here is probably Spy. Like, what would you set over Deco to take advantage of like the game state you've created with the duo, taking out the heavy, you have defense. Like, I think Spy is what I'm probably expecting here, or should be expecting. So if that is Spy, why just hit it like that to make him flip it, and then he hits the door? It's a hard Spy, but I don't know. Like, if I had to guess his face down, I would probably set the Spy over the Deco because I want to get the Spy out the deck before I draw, and that makes sense. But then, like, if they set the Nidoria, Spy just shits on that too really hard. So the only logic for summoning Nidoria is probably he drew 2 Decos. And that does actually line up, which I would definitely need to swing with the Nidoria. So I'm not sure that's what I was thinking, because this was like 4 or 5 days ago. But that's what I should have been thinking. So then it's Chaos Control, or Chaos Turbo, I don't know. It's Chaos or Solemns. I can't really expect Saku, or I'm not really in a spot where I can play through it or play around it. I guess actually too, if I hit the Spy, I could snatch and sack for Mobius potentially next turn. So these are all options. I do hit the face down, and I forget what it is. He Solemns the Nidoria summon. Okay. So what does that make the face down? I think I know what it is now. I remember. But if you're watching, like, what fits the story here? What the fuck could that face down possibly be? And if you really think about it, there's only one answer. Why would you summon a Nidoria, a card that doesn't threaten anything? What logic are you using here? So, think of an answer. There we go. Master Darkness. Gives back to Solemn. It's really good. Puts me in an incredibly rough spot. Because now he's just going to keep looping this here. And I don't understand why you're setting the Mask of Darkness over the Dekorchi. I think maybe the Dekorchi probably would have... Yeah, the Dekorchi was better in my opinion. I don't know his other face down offhand. But that's just what I would do. I think you create a game state where Dekorchi is at its best. And if you summon the Tomato to force it out, you do have the Solemn, which is going to be live anyway. I set the Snatch, and I don't think I should have. Like, what was I trying to accomplish there by setting Snatch? Another thing I try to ask myself before I do any play is, what am I trying to accomplish by doing this? What does this really do for me? Where, like, you're setting Bluff, Nox, and Warrior. Like, they're not going to not be aggressive because you set a fucking Knock. Like, it's not going to do anything, and you're going to really hate it when you draw a discard card and, like, have to discard a real one instead of a dead one. So I don't know what I was thinking with the Snatch here. I don't think he was going to duo and then jar me either, so, like, I don't think I should set the Snatch. I would have just died to a breaker. So I draw meta. That's real rough against a level 2. He has Solemn, I know that. I don't snatch Mobius here because I know he has a Solemn. I need to bait the Solemn and set the Mobius. The Mobius actually is really nice to do so, because then he'll take another half life points, and I'm in within a winning game. And that's going to be how I'm going to have to win this game, is take advantage of the life points of Solemn. And I know where Solemn's at too, which is huge for cards like Wind Blast, Space, etc. So I set. Why am I setting these? There has to be a reason. I'm setting these because, like, I would set them if he had a face down because of duo, but now I think I'm just begging for breaker. But I think because I set the Snatch, I'm almost obligated to set the meta because of breaker. Still no, because I should be saving for charity, so I don't know what the fuck I was thinking here. Hey, don't laugh at me. I can admit my own mistakes.
I'm not laughing.
Every turn that goes by, I have a less chance of winning this game. I have a really small window where I can steal it, especially knowing that he has Solemn already, and then the back row just gets worse. So draw. Alright, this is an amazing draw here because ideally, if everything goes right, I'm able to go. I don't think he'll swing on it, but flip, draw, sack for Mobius, or flip, draw, meta. Like, I have options now. The snatch Mobius, like, this is when I didn't need like a knock, you know? So I'm really happy about this. I set this. Pray he doesn't have Nobleman. If he does, what the fuck am I do about it? Thunder Dragon, again. Card does nothing at the moment. Unless it's filling his Regeki break, but you gotta take those little edges you can get, you know, something to be happy about. He didn't technically draw. And he sacks, and I'm like, this motherfucker sacks from Mobius, I'm gonna cry. Sacks with Thunder Dragon. And I'm like, alright, why did you do this? You have a dark, you have a light, so what's the logic of sacking for Thunder Dragon? You really want to, like I said, you really need to put yourself in their shoes and fulfill the story. I guess aggression? Because I would have summoned Tomato and swung. For sure. I would have summoned Sangan and swung. So what's the logic here? I'm not really sure. I kind of see like I would have swung with an idiot that wouldn't want to die by battle. So I fucks with it. But a flip like that in a deck that runs, you know, Deco, Mask of Darkness, Faith, I'm assuming he's running Suki. It just has a, you know, it's really good. So Thunder Dragon, again, I don't like to get these guys out of my hand because then you turn your fake advantage into real cards, and they're not really that good real cards. It's just 1600. So we'll see what he does. But if he is holding Solemn, he either is logic to just fucking push. I take a draw, I drew Ring, and I'm really stoked about drawing Ring. So this is like, this is a winnable game now. This is actually, I don't want to say I'm favored, but I definitely can pull this out. I draw Tomato. I'm like, what? That's unfortunate timing, I guess. But I know he doesn't have knock, because he would have knocked and swung for the 16. So I know Solemn in hand, Thunder Dragon in hand. I know 2 cards. I know 2 back row. I also assume no Regeki break, because he would have Regeki break the monster for sure. If he was going to sack for Thunder Dragon like that, I think you just push with the Regeki break. I guess I can't completely eliminate it, but I can, you know, you have to just, it's better than nothing. If you don't know, kind of make an educated guess and go with that. I'm not going to hard commit no Regeki break, but just keep it in the back of my mind. And with this kind of aggressive line, you could also think he has a second Solemn, and he's just wanting to close this game out quickly, which is correct. So I think here, what do? I think I snatch. Nope. If I snatched here, because definitely Book is a, no, I think Book got eliminated as well, because if he had Book, I don't think he would have sacked for Thunder Dragon. So the snatch would have been good here. Snatch Thunder Dragon, right? If I snatch Thunder Dragon, I need to get a read on his face down, so they're not Book and Moon. Definitely not Book and Moon. I think game 1 he did play a sack here, but I have no idea what his face downs are, so I'm in a losing spot here, and it's, even now looking back, I don't think I'm at that level of a player that I can really look at it at this spot and read back row like this. It's something usually I'm pretty good at, but I'm just not that good yet. I'm working on it. Give me some time. Because there probably was a shot here if I could really figure out the background. There's Solemn there. He sacked for the Thunder Dragon, so the Mask of Darkness, that has a lot of information here, so I can assume no Book of Moon. I can probably bet on second Solemn. It just, the aggressive line makes sense there. And I'm trying to see if I can eliminate Regeki break. No knock, obviously. No monster to set, because you would set probably, well, set to a set doesn't really work here, because I have a set. So you could have a monster in hand. Again, you just choose 3 ofs or multiple cards that would make sense. I can, with some certainty, say he has a Chaos in hand. Like Thunder Dragon, Chaos Monster does make sense here, I think. Because I guess if he hits my on the light, yeah, I think setting Tomato was a little bit, I mean, it's good because I know he doesn't have the out to it, but like, I need to close this game out. And I think if I let him draw one more turn, I think this is what happens. I won't get this shot to, because I would be able to snatch the Thunder Dragon. Swing off the Thunder Dragon? Yeah. And if that hits, I can main phase 2 sack for Mobius. Do we like that? No, I need to use the Mobius with the ring set and a monster. So I can go sack for Mobius, he Solemns, I flip ring, and I win the game. So maybe I can go snatch Thunder Dragon. I want damage through. I'll take the plus if he does Saku. So I would swing with Thunder Dragon. Main phase 2, I could meta the Thunder Dragon. I guess I would want to see a Chaos Monster come down. Because I have Snatch and I have Ring. So yeah, I could Snatch Thunder Dragon, swing with the Thunder Dragon. And then main phase 2, meta the Thunder Dragon into Balter. Are we liking Balter? No, because we were reading monsters in hand. These are set. They're probably not like Pot of Greeds and shit. Reaper on the Nightmare has some value because I would want him to not die to an attack. There's no White Idiot, is there? I can't figure it out. There's White Idiot's a 6. So anyway, let's just see what I did and how it worked out. Say Thunder Dragons or Tomatoes too. Cool, because he wants to be aggressive. He swings on it. I can do the level 1, level 3 play. Probably just going to do the Sanguine play, but... So I really am curious to what he has. Again, I know where his Solemn is, so that's important. That was Azura. Azura was really rough here, actually. I think I don't give this card enough credit. Swing Thunder Dragon, Tomato. I should have just grabbed another Thunder Dragon here. Or another Tomato here. I need specific cards to win. I should just then attack, right? He doesn't hit it and drop Sorcerer. So I was pretty spot on with my Sorcerer read there. It's not a hard read, but like when you don't have anything to go by, you can eliminate all the flips. Sinister was an option for sure, but there's more Sorcerers than that, so I can assume Chaos. This is backed by the Solemn. I guess even with the swung on it, it was Tomato, but it shouldn't have been because I would have swung over his mask. The Chaos cleaned it up, so there's some more to talk about there, but this is going to be a long-ass video anyway. Banishes that, turns to hand. So, now we know we have Azura Priest in hand, Thunder Dragon on board, Chaos Sorcerer, Solemn Judgment, a face down that is likely, because he had the Dark, I still think no Book of Moon, but I can't completely eliminate it because now I know he has a Sorcerer and you would want to push with the Sorcerer, and I can see why that setup would entail sacking. So, but I have a decent setup here. This sucked because this was going to be my way to win. But I do have Snatch. Nice. Okay. So, again, there's the passive play, and then there's the to go for gameplay. He has the Solemn. I need to bait the Solemn into a ring, and I think I need the Mobius to do that. I can pretty confidently say that like I did try to rule out Regeki Break earlier, but it does make sense with this line. He has the ability to protect the Sorcerer. So I need to bait that first and bait the Solemn. This is a really tall order to do. I'm not sure if I'd even be able to do it. If I could probably set the Night Assailant. He's going to summon the Azura. He'll probably swing with the Sorcerer. Yeah, probably swing with the Sorcerer. I kill the Sorcerer, I take 16, and I take 17. And then again, I don't have much. But I can use the ring to bait the book. And then snatch. And I still have to deal with that Solemn. But I'm trying to go over options here. So, I think I should not have snatched, honestly. Like, that's the card I want to go through because I know his cards in hand cannot deal with it. I know one's face on the Solemn, which deals with everything, so I don't need to worry about the Solemn, really, because it's going to deal with something. There's something I can do about that. I need to know what these two are. So, he Solemns, okay. So this is really, really good for me. Go down to 1750. Set and set ring. Pass. summons a 0. And he swings with the Thunder Dragon. That kind of threw me off, because I think you're supposed to swing with the Sorcerer in case it is not assailant. Well, no, you want to swing with not the Sorcerer. I think I'm just biased because I have an assailant, because if it is like a tomato, you have the Sorcerer to do shit with. But I think he would know I would summon... I don't know how much he knows about my deck, but I would summon the Tomato Slam to get Midoriya Slam, get rid of the Sork. So I think it'd take like a while to think here. And I ring the Sork. Alright. Oh yeah, here's a second Solemn. I was like, did I get blown out by Book of Moon that didn't make any sense? No, I'm good. Book of Moon wasn't rough. And as soon as this happened, I'm kicking myself. I'm like, if I just would have forced the Mobius through somehow, maybe a little more patient, maybe one more draw, I would have had this game, potentially. But whatever. So he goes down to 875, which means the soldier's a clean shot. I still don't know the back row. I have to kill the sorcerer, take the 17, and I have 2 dead cards that I sided in that I'm really pissed about right now. I'm like, alright, this game is still winnable. He drew a back row, that's a Thunder Dragon. Turns out that's Dust Shoot. What the fuck? This game's over. I'm pretty sure I draw a second Mobius. A Torrential. Fuck that card. Mobius. Alright. Rough beats. That's game right there, right? No, not quite. 200. In game 2 and 3, as Chaos, you can always... It gets a bit more complicated, but you have a bit more leeway with Dust Shoot being dead that they could draw, so their back row may not be as live. And he's drawn back row for 2 turns in a row. And there was never a point he drew and didn't set a back row. So, and we still that Solemn. Or no. Did he used the good Solemn, the right spotted Solemn first. Jargarita, that makes sense with, what's it called? Master Darkness. And this card fucking annoying as shit, because it really fucks up you're trying to read the back row. Because it changes the dynamics of this is set, he has this. So I fucks with that card. I think I draw a Faith, and I'm like, I have Faith for Snatch, but I'm dead. So I have to go for the meta play, right? Yeah. And yes, Torrential, yeah. So that nothing to do there, I don't think. Like, I think I could have played it better, but I don't think I could have won. But there's a lot to learn there. That game made me really appreciate fucking Jargreed, even though I didn't use it. It's funny. Alright, so this is game 3. I'm going first, yeah. I'm like, alright, I fucks with this hand. I draw the duo, I'm feeling real nice about it. Duo before anything else. Get the Saku, get the Jargreed. Set the Mimic, or the Tomato, and that might have been wrong. So here, he's just going to set. I'm pretty confident. Like, I know he runs Mask of Darkness, so that's another monster you're not being aggressive with. Another monster he is going to be aggressive with, which would not let me do my Tomato into Idiot play, will be Azure Priest. So that doesn't really help me at all, setting the Tomato. And again, I'm setting to he's going to set to a set, and I don't have a good answer for that. So maybe the Mimic could have gone down instead, because I don't really care about it. It's literally just cantrip with body, and it has upside if you get the draw too. I like to set the Nice Salient, because if he does set to set with back row, I can flip the Salient, kill his Idiot, and then sack for Mobius. So there's that. Thunder Dragon there. Okay, so again, 3 cards in hand. Like, this game's looking really good. But again, it's only 3 cards in hand until it's not. So I get knocked. Okay. And set. That. Okay, so it didn't really matter what I set there, but it does actually come into play right here. So I draw the soldier. So this is very debatable. I chose to kill a couple people. I think Ghost Rider actually was mentioning that the game kind of turned around here. One, I did do this and swung into Deco, and my Idiot didn't survive. I think I had to, and let me explain why. If the face and the cards I've seen from him in his version of Chaos is Azure Priest is not going to be set. I'm not worried about that. So we got 2 face, 2 or 3 faith. Definitely, probably, yeah, it's 2. You play Mask of Darkness on him, you're playing 2 faith. So 2 faith, 3 decos, so that's 5, and Mask of Darkness, you're not playing one of those, you're probably have a draw greed, you're playing 2 mask, or maybe 3, I think 2 again. So if it's the Koichi, this is bad, obviously. If it's Mask of Darkness, this is good. This is a good play, because leaving him with a flip, or I'm susceptible to Suki Lock, is stupid, when I could just clear it with any monster. So bad against Deco, good against Mask of Darkness. If I don't swing, it's bad against Deco and bad against Mask of Darkness. Same with Faith. If I don't swing, I have to set. I guess I could summon, but it does kind of leads me in the same issue. But if it's Faith, he just flips Faith, gets back knock, knocks the fucking Mimic, and I don't have any darks at all for my soldier. So again, good if it's Faith, if it's Mask of Darkness, if it's Singing or it's Servant. Bad if it's Deco, but if I do no action, it's also bad if it's Deco. So this was, in my opinion, the correct line of play. Again, help me if I'm wrong here. He draws. I don't have any other play. So he draws Sorcerer, doesn't have a dark. It's actually, and this is unfortunate for me. I'm like, well, I wonder if he would have done this if he didn't accidentally reveal the Sorcerer. Maybe. It's strong. You've seen not too much back. Again, I think he's doing the same thing that I did game 1 with my soldier, is noticing that I don't have too much action in my hand, so why not just push? I can tell he has 1 Thunder Dragon hand, 1 card I don't know. I could say face down could be I think with this hand you had a flip. I like Saku, so I think that's probably another reactive trap. I'd probably discard Book of Moon over Saku there, but it's debatable, I guess. Depends if you have the Sorcerer or not. Anyway, so this turns out my 80 gets banished, and I take 16 here. I draw Thunder Dragon, I'm feeling really good about it, but I don't have a fucking dark. So at the turn, I'm not getting Dusty because I didn't before. Get 2 Thunder Dragons. Now, I think that's the only here. No, I Snatch. I think I used Snatch too quickly, man. I think Geki Break makes sense, right? Yeah, all of it makes sense. And I know his hand is a Thunder Dragon, and I think if he... No, because I would summon the Sorcerer over here. Pretty much at any spot, Sorcerer does come down. Even if he had another monster in hand, so I don't really know his hand here because the Sorcerer kind of did set himself up. So if I snatch the sword, I win. If it gets Book of Moon, I can White Dark Soldier. I don't have White Dark, but I can set the Night Assailant. He already used a knock. By that logic, though, should I just set the Night Assailant to start? Because I'm not in danger of dying. The Night Assailant gives me the dark, which gives me, like, the Sork play. So anyway, it does get booked. Okay, well, I think this is probably good. He draws, again, Thunder Dragon, blank, blank. I don't have any real knowledge on this card because it could be, I just know it's probably not a back row. Could be Snatch. Because with his deck, all his traps are going to be set. You play Solemn, you're committing to back row for sure. So that's not a back row, and when it's not a back row, not a monster, it's either a Chaos monster or it's Snatch Steal. And because he threw out his first Sorcerer so quickly, not a bad Sorcerer by any means, but it does somewhat give away that he could have another Chaos monster in hand. So he flips the Sorcerer. See here, I don't get it. I think I think I'm just biased because I'm seeing Night Assailant now. Because I feel like you swing with the Sorcerer first. But if it's Tomato, you don't do that. But again, I would, in every essence, I just drew said. Yeah, I think this was a small mistake. Because if I would have, I don't know if he knows I play Midoriya, I guess, but I would have, if I drew Tomato, I would have summoned Tomato, slammed in the Thunder Dragon, grabbed Midoriya, slammed in the Thunder Dragon, took out the Sorcerer. I'm pretty good about that. Probably would have done before Snatch, but whatever. Because he might have booked the Sorcerer, or booked the Midoriya, or the Tomato. Anyway, so let's not get super caught up because it's already a long ass video. So he attacks me this here, and I can actually remove the Chaos Sorcerer and not take 23. That does give him another Dark though, and I think at this point because he's just not. I wish this was main phase 2 because I don't get to see what he's doing with his cards in hand. I know Thunder Dragon, I know not back row, and we'll see what it is at the end of this turn. So I have to make a hard commitment here. So this is where it comes down to like the Chaos Snatch theory. Like I think no one likes to set Snatch Steal face down because if it gets blown out by like a break or something like that, that's a premium ass card. So I'd much rather set anything else. So a lot of times you play against Warrior and they have cards in hand, and if you watch any of my other videos or just play and think about this, when Warrior has cards in hand they haven't played, you can usually pretty safe bet say it's a Chaos Monster or a Snatch, because that's a card you save for game shots or like huge advantage. So always be aware of that they could have those cards. So I think I take out the Sorcerer to not take damage, and I think that was a mistake here. Because then my Light Dark removes his Light Dark, which if it's Sorcerers with Soldier, those are 3 compared to the Snatch being at 1, and I could avoid that situation altogether just by taking 23. I don't think his hand's aggressive. I mean, my hand's not great by any means, but I think that was probably better. And I thought like a good couple minutes on that. So what's he do now? He passes or sets Monster. Okay. And again, Monster being set is totally fine because last turn he committed to the Sorcerer. If I had any monster, Faith being Knockbook, it just makes more sense here to play this or sack for Thunder Dragon. So that doesn't really change much on his play last turn. So that is basically I'm saying that it's a card he could have had in his hand and didn't play last turn. I don't know that it's a card he drew. But now I know for a fact that his hand is no back row. He has no Solemn Book. He has monsters in hand. I gave him the Dark. I don't know if I should have done that. So it's based on this logic, right? And you need to hard commit to reads here. I don't do it. I just, if you watch my game against Chris, I'm not trying to promote my Lucas's channel, all that, but there was a point where I Mind Crush his knock out of his hand after he battle phase books my Soldier, and I'm like, the only card he can really have that makes sense here is knock, and I Mind Crush knock, and then a point where he draws a turn. I have Soldier I have his own with. I just don't Mind Crush the Snatch because it just feels too much. Just commit to these fucking reads because my play didn't beat either option that I felt that he could have, which is just poor. And my hand's shit. Like I don't have any cards. These are all blanks. So I'm gonna Light Dark. I'm gonna banish the face down. And then I think I just passed. Huge mistake. There had to be some action here, right? So I know his card in hand 1, 2. There's still a Thunder Dragon. It was 1 card in hand. But what 1 card wouldn't you play? And that could be a card he drew as well. But I think you just have to make the read that his card in hand is not a spell or trap. He has a hand of monsters. So I go Light Dark Soldier. And I think what I'm thinking here is like, if I just go meta into fucking motherfucker on the dragon that banishes the grave. I can banish the face down. I have to commit hella to this. If it was anything less than losing my Mobius, and looking back, I'm like, why the fuck did I care about my Mobius? He kills back row, which we've already determined this motherfucker do not have. Then I'm just gonna I beat the sorcerers, which had to be a second sorcerer. But again, there is multiple sorcerers, but I don't beat the Snatch. So the decision tree here, I think I don't have the balls to commit to it. I swear to God, next time I will. It's either I'm beating Snatch or I'm beating fucking Chaos Monster. and there's more Chaos Monsters than there are Snatch targets. So I banish the face down, sack for Mobius, meta the Mobius, get that Dark... what is his name? Darkblade. Swing over the Thunder Dragon, banish the Dark, leaving no grave, a Thunder Dragon in hand, and drawing to a blank. And what really hurt me here is like, well, if I'm drawing to one card, I'd rather have a big-ass soldier on board than nothing, because I won't have any. I'll have 2 Thunder Dragons. But then we're both top decking. I have the idiot. His power cards are out of play. It's the better play. So banish, face down. Turns out to be Faith. Again, doesn't tell information because the sorcerer was still a good play. I left the duel and I'm back. He left the duel. He back. And I don't do it, and I regret it. I don't know why I didn't. I mean, he'd always just drawn out, but like, literally, I'm losing to both outs that I made a hard read on here, and there's no excuse for that. It's just stupid. Like, what am I doing in my life? Summons Azura, and again here, Azura fits that profile of cards that you wouldn't have played, but Snatch. See, I would have done the Darkblade play over the Senshi, for sure, because again, we're making the read he has no back row. Senshi would have beat this, but lost to Chaos, more Chaos than Soldiers. Then Snatch, GG. Yeah, I'm like, it's game. I don't look at my next card because I never want to know. It doesn't matter what actually happens, it matters what should have. I should have committed to either one or the other, and I think the right play was the Darkblade. Or, if you go back, I wish I could like scroll back to different plays. Excuse me. When you swung with Soldier, or swung with Thunder Dragon, I take out the Thunder Dragon, take the 23, and pass, right? I think I'm still dicked on. No, I can beat both here, right? So I draw for turn. I can go light, dark, Soldier, banishes dark. Now I don't have to worry about, I don't have to worry about the Chaos Monster. So the only thing I need to beat is Snatch, and then I know his card in hand is, Chaos or Snatch, blinking, meta the Mobius into Senshi. Or fuck it, I could even go Thunder Dragon and meta it into Dark. They're both riding a horse or some shit. The Reaper. The Reaper on the Nightmare defends me because I took more damage here. And then if he has the Snatch, whatever, it just kills a Dark. And now I have 3 cards to his 2. Thunder Dragon, blank, Snatch. But I have White Dark in the grave again. And I'm drawing. So that'd be a better play too. So I probably did this as bored as I possibly could. But yeah, there's a lot to learn, and what on the surface looks like just a blowout game. So yeah, got inspired by talking on the GOAT Discord. So tell me what you all think. Any comments, critiques? Am I just retarded? I know I'm wordy. Thank you all for tuning in.